Hi everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot and Astrology. I'm Denise and I'm going to read on this little monster again. Charles has a, wait, I have to put him in his dumpster. There we go. Charles has a great question that I think I've read on before, but I want to double check in because I did not add Jared into the mix. And the question has to do with Trump. Did Trump purposely, and I'm going to include Jared, did either of those two or both purposely intend to harm all people of color during the coronavirus? Like, did they pull back their support because they wanted those, anyone in that population to, not make it? So anyway, because these guys are really dark, so let's check it out, and I'll see whether or not he's guilty. Okay, hold on, or both of them. So, and then I also have to add in the question as to whether or not they would be held accountable. So, anyway, let me swap up the camera here and just see what comes through. Thanks. Hold on. Okay, so bear with me for just a little bit while I do something really weird. I'm mixing both the Lenormand and Kipper together for this reading because that was the guidance. But these decks are not the same size, so they're not, and the cards are stiff. Yeah, so you're witnessing my struggles. Okay. So the intention, so I'm going to put the intention into the cards. I want to know if it will come out that both Trump and Jared, I know I've read on Trump before, but let's just do an update because I'm sure it's probably been well over one year. But let's do an update to see if both Trump and, see how they want to go back together. It's like they're trying to stick to themselves. I want to see if both Trump and Jared may have, may it be revealed, maybe they'll have an investigation as to, the COVID deaths that, well, I have to establish guilt. And there, that feels better. We have to establish guilt to see if that's the case. Were they guilty of, chopstick over there, were they guilty of not caring about COVID deaths and not warning the public so that any person of color who's more susceptible, or anyone who's more susceptible that they thought wouldn't be their voters, would catch COVID and possibly die. Or another possibility that I can think of, but I have to, take my mind out of it and just open up to whatever the truth is. Another possibility is that it was very transactional on the financial levels as to, which vaccine company do they get behind, and why, why Trump said all that stuff about, what was that, hydrochloric, whatever, and ivermectin, and then there was the thing about let's use chlorine bleach and maybe it could go inside them somehow, like what? Anyway, was all of that geared towards, I think that was just his insanity, but was everything geared just towards them making money? Stock options, things like that, or, buying certain stocks over others. Okay. What is the truth? And my intention is to have the future come through. I'm going to do 21 cards, and let's see if the future can come through over here to see whether or not they'll be held accountable. If in fact there is guilt. Okay. Money, power, and protection. Obstacles, but also hidden enemies. Safety and home. Okay. News. Well, and movement. Okay, maybe, so the solution, deeper understanding, maybe, let's see. Safety. Yeah, masking safety. Well, right. They weren't promoting masking up either, were they? So let's just keep going. That's interesting that the whole top layer turns out to be the Lenormand. Okay, there we go. There would change there. Yeah, that's Trump. Okay. Something's going to take some time. Or maybe overtime. Yeah. Now this would actually be a COVID card. You know, we're talking mist and things that are, it's an airborne disease. Yeah. Okay. So their cards didn't come through. Looks like we don't really have any people cards, but so there's more about the intent. I didn't get the cross unless, let me flip it over from the other side. Communications, rules, law. Oh, there's Trump. Yeah, and the way he communicated out into the community, which he didn't care about. And he was very responsible for any important discovery that might come through. But he had this other strategy, probably twofold, and an opportunist. And yeah, he's friggin' guilty, so I guess we know that. Yeah, and his family's involved. So I would say Jared is too. But having the clouds wind up here, I don't know if they'll be held accountable, but let me see if I can get some guidance that comes through. So opening up the reading, it's his money, bullying, power that blocked the safety of the family. Oh yeah, so without the cross card coming through to show guilt, it's all right here. He blocked, well, the safety of the body. I mean, our house card in the Lenormand has everything to do with body and soul and having a safe foundation. But it's also, property. So he was thinking of ways that he could, well, shoot. And then this is also our card of secret enemies. So he used his power to make money with hidden enemies, maybe in other countries, foreign enemies, in order to fill his own coffers. So it was a financial speculation. He used the government and just kind of watched. He sat back. So Trump just kind of sat back and watched. And then I'm sure directed Jared, because, Jared is his little bag man. I don't know if I didn't call the guy a man, but a little bag boy. And he masked the truth that needed to be researched and looked into deeper. And he also masked and removed the plan that Obama had in place. Obama had a tremendous pandemic plan in place because I think he probably had some intuition about that. Or maybe it just that's always the smart thing to do, right? Make sure safety protocols that are in place for everything. That's what a healthy, parent would do, right? And then this would be our COVID card, literally our COVID card. So Trump with Jared's help, put changes in place that blocked safety and protection, that put changes in place that could have really been a different experience for all of us. And you know who comes to mind too is that other guy, what's his name, Woodward, I can't remember his first name. I still hold some resentment about him holding off with the information that came through, because he didn't publish his book until he was damn good and ready. But meanwhile, he was interviewing Trump, and Trump knew that it was either late December or early January, before COVID hit, that it was an airborne illness. I mean, we have the videos, or I'm sorry, the recorded phone calls about that. We have the audio recordings about that. And so maybe the better way, besides the corners that are done, maybe the better way is just go ahead, because I'm seeing a story up here. So again, I'm going to repeat Trump's pressure to, or just constant mental problem that causes him to just be very greedy and bullying. Now I'm reading the bear card in probably the most negative way, because it doesn't always have to be that way. But he was the boss. This is the boss. He was in charge. He had the strength. It's all about money, power, and protection. And it's also a card that has to do with a warning to like keep distance. So we're talking distance, the 6 feet apart, all of that could have come through. But he saw it as an opportunity to just fill his own coffers, and so that's the direction he moved in. He saw it as a way in with the key card here. And we could say, yes, he could have been protective, but he wasn't. We have this masking of real power that could have been in place. Like I said, Obama's plan could have been, he didn't have to knock it out. He took it out is what he did. And then he literally blocked. I need 2 chopsticks. Hold on. He literally blocked protection. The doggy card is about protection. And it's also protection for, this is our card for nurses, so obstacles. He blocked protection for nurses, doctors, the PPE, the personal protection equipment. He did everything to just, because he removed that Obama's plan that was in place. And that was key for the safety and foundation. But he moved forward in that very dark way. And so that change took out the protection. And then, but in the future, there might be some meetings to try and figure out like what really happened. There might be some teamwork and some negotiations. But I'm not so sure that it's going to go anywhere, because when we have the clouds card, it's very doubtful. Things are still hidden. There's a lot of confusion. Nailing it down is probably, we know the truth, but I don't know that it's doubtful that we have, or that there will be the resources, because I think that they are going to be focused on, that's what it is. Yeah, right, because check it out here. Okay, so this card, when it comes to, so I'm mirroring here, when it comes to the Lenormand, or the Kipper, well, Kipper doesn't have a tower card, but with the Lenormand, this would be about the same as the other card. Hold on, we just had it a second ago. Oh, actually, I went from the other end. This card. This is our government card in Kipper. This is our government card and institutional card. Even, medical clinics and all of that in the Lenormand. So it's all pretty much right here at these 4 corners, showing that that are on one level, it shows the guilt and how he masked it and, tried to cover up. And on another level, how the personal protection equipment wasn't readily available as needed. And Jared had something to do with that as well, is what I'm just hearing. Okay, Jared had something to do with that. All right. But in the future, because, I set my intention for the future to come through over here, in the future, our government is going to be focusing in on something that they can nail them for. If not both of them, at least Trump. Because Trump's card I always get this card for him every week, and this one as well. Or actually, I'm sorry, every time I use the Kipper. So this is Trump, these two cards mirroring each other. But in the future, I think it's doubtful that our government will be able to invest because time's a wasting. But there's teamwork. There's major teamwork in order, if you look at this diagonal here, to bring through something to lock this mofo up right here. And then this line here, there's movement and visitations and all types of work in a teamwork type of way. Maybe something's going to come through as far as because gifts can have to do with anything that's valuable. And look how we have this line here with the cheating. Right? So news that brings in some kind of change or improvement as to the guilt of the cheating. And maybe how both Trump and Jared had their fingers in that's, oh man, that's another whole thing, is how much money was, they readily dispersed it so that people could, well, no, they didn't care about the people. They just cared about a way for their, money people to get more money. So all of those misappropriated funds, all those COVID relief funds that were stolen and used and all the scams. Okay, so Trump these are the worst cards to get in the Kipper. And this is Trump. And so he's sitting in this place where he's pretty tortured with worry and stress, and he can't really think of anything else. But when it comes to what he's looking forward to, look at these cards that are in between, both of these cards that I always get for him, maybe they're applicable to Kushner as well. And it looks to me like there's some change that has to do with, if it's not an actual lockup, it's a major restriction because on another level too, our imprisonment card is a card that has something about secrets. There's a trap that a person can't get out of. And they're alone, they're alone and isolated. But of course it's definitely a prison card of some type. So he's really worried about that. And he's being watched, of course. And in the future, maybe when they have more resources, they will look into it. And maybe it is just when resources come through then, because this is my COVID card. Let's see. Let me finish the mirroring here. It looks like over time, let's see, hold on. Because the government, I think there's overwhelm right now as far as doing anything about it now. But over time, there will be something surprising that comes through. There will be, over time, there will be some teamwork that comes together. And then a surprise, ruh-roh, look who's guilty. Wow. Yeah. And over time, change. Over time, more teamwork on it. So it could be who knows how long. I mean, who knows how long it could take. And he may be, that's the other thing too, is that Trump and Kushner, I think as well, would probably be either gone or locked up for some other reasons. And this is just a side thing. You know what it's going to take is for us to have the House and the Senate, for the Democrats to have the House and the Senate, and and all the other cleanup on aisle 45 has to be probably completed, or maybe someone will pick it up because they have some. Maybe there's a congressperson that has someone that they've lost, and they're wanting to. Pick it up for their own personal reasons as well, which would obviously benefit us all. So I guess in summary, I could say that it's guilt is definitely there. What I do like seeing here is that there's some imprisonment or restriction around something for Trump coming through. And we're also going to see that he received gifts, and Jared did as well. They had money payouts in other ways, maybe not in actual. Well, it would add up to financial dollars later on, but it could have been in ways that money was stolen. The scams, right? Because this is all this big cover up here. I mean, we have the cover ups here and here. And then if I knight the cheating here, right, up to the key card, there will be some solution at some point that comes through. Something that it's the key card not only unlocks something that was locked up before, but it also is a big yes card. There's something important as to protection. Maybe there's someone who's lost a daughter who was a nurse, or you know what I mean? Yeah. What do we have? Like at this point, 100 million some cases, or is that 100 million? Oh, I have to look again. The numbers are. I think we had over 100 million. Did we have 100 million deaths in the USA? I get mixed up between USA and world numbers, so I better just not say anything about that. We can look it up later. But, so cheating within the family, the Kushner-Trump family. And that's something very important that will come out in the future. Trump and his cheating. Yeah. Over time. Well, if I go with right here, the major obstacles have to do with, I think that maybe the DOJ is a little overwhelmed right now, to say the least. Maybe they're very overwhelmed, but over time, something surprising will come through. And maybe it's that the restrictions will be lifted and they'll have more help, and then it'll come out on the news, right? Because it's here and here. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just going to get this uploaded and get on to the next reading. Okay. Bye. Hope you're doing well. Take good care.